Hey, it's Everett. Welcome to part 3 of the most basic music theory lesson ever. Let's get right to the keyboard and pick up where we left off. So last time we learned that using only the white keys, we can make 3 different major chords. C, F, and G major. And those 3 chords have strong relationships to each other. You can make lots of songs just using those 3 chords, C, F, and G major. Now, what makes these triads major? Well, it's the way they sound, of course, but really, technically, it's the way they're constructed. And let's examine that. Starting with C major, we play the root, C. Counting up the scale, the triad is composed of the root, the 3rd, and the 5th note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5. Now let's notice that the 3rd is 4 half steps above the root. So root, 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps above. And the 5th is 3 half steps above the 3rd. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, starting with the root, I'll show you again. Root, 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps, and then 1, 2, 3 half steps. Notice that the same is true of F major. Starting with F, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. And G. There's the root note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And you might have figured out that any major chord starting on any note takes this form. Let's start on D, the note D. How would we make a major chord starting on D? We make D the root note, and then we count 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps above D, so we have F sharp, a black note, a black key, and then 1, 2, 3, A, or A natural, not a sharp or flat, a white key. And there's D major, an interval composed of 4 half steps underneath an interval composed of 3 half steps. How would we make a major chord starting on A flat? There's A flat, the black key under A, and we count 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps, and then 1, 2, 3. That's A flat, C, and E flat makes an A flat major triad. Now would actually be a good time to turn off the video and see if you can construct a major triad starting on any key of the piano keyboard using this formula. Go ahead and try it. Okay, welcome back. Now let's go back to our C major triad, constructed by an interval of 4 half steps under an interval of 3 half steps. Now what happens if I take the middle note, the 3rd of that major triad, and move it down 1 half step? You hear how the chord quality changes. In fact, I bet many of you are already aware of what this chord is called, but first, I just want you to notice that we now have a triad that is an interval of 1, 2, 3 half steps under an interval of 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps. This is another kind of C chord, of course, because C is still the root note of the chord, and you probably guessed that it is a C minor chord. It is a C minor chord. Now let's listen to the C major chord and the C minor chord. Major, minor. Now, what is the obvious way to characterize these 2 chords using simple emotions? For most people, the major chord is happy, and the minor chord is sad. Happy and sad. If you can hear some version of this happy-sad difference, then awesome. If you're not really hearing so much of a difference between the two chords, don't worry. Your ear will learn to hear it. Just stay with it. Major, minor. Now notice that you can turn F major into a minor chord by lowering its third by a half step also. Major, minor. And the same with G major, of course. Major, minor, major, minor. Now let's notice something else. If we go back to building triads using only the keys in the C major scale, we know that building triads on the root and the fourth note of the C major scale, F, and the fifth note of the C major scale, G, gives us major chords. But what if we build a triad using white keys on the second note of the C major scale, D, using only white keys? Can you tell that's minor? I'll show you that it is. D, count up 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. A D triad built only on white keys gives us D minor. 3 half steps under 4 half steps. What about building a triad on the third note in the C major scale? E. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, we don't need to count because we're only using white notes, white keys, right? Minor again. E minor. How would I turn that major? I would raise the third back up, right? All white keys makes E minor. But what about the sixth note of a C major scale? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's A, using only white keys. Minor again. Okay, what about the seventh note? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. B. If we build a triad using white keys on B, the seventh note of C major, of the C major scale, what do we get? Not minor. That's a very different sounding chord quality called diminished. We'll talk about that some other time. For now, I want you to play with the triads built on white keys in the key of C. You have 1, 4, and 5 major, and 2, 3, and 6 minor. Just spend some time experimenting by stringing together series of triads. Which series sound good together? How about 2, 5, 1? 2, 5, 1. 2, 5, 1. How about 2, 5, 3, 6, and 2, 5, 1. I'll play that for you again. Those sound really nice together. I managed to get in every single triad built on white keys except for that diminished one. So I want you to try lots of different things, always making sure to come back to rest on C major. Finally, one more exercise. Make sure that you can build major and minor triads on any note on the keyboard using the 4 half steps under 3 half steps rule for major and the 3 half steps under 4 half steps formula for minor. And that, along with the experimentation with the series of triads, is your homework. Okay, so experiment with the series of different triads on white keys, and then make sure you can build a major or a minor triad on any key on the entire keyboard. And of course, you'll need plenty of black keys to do that. And then come back and watch part 4 when you're ready.